We are two male dietitians on a mission to improve your condition. It is our ambition to promote the importance of nutrition. We love food, we love to cook. We're just two dudes, come take a look. We are Andy and Joel, two dietitians with a whole lot of soul. Andy, how you doing?
Hey, good mate. How about yourself?
I'm good. Geez, what on earth are we doing?
Well, welcome to I guess the first episode of Dudes Talk Nutrition, which is pretty much our new kind of men's health, general health, nutrition talk show, podcast, whatever you want to call it. And I guess we're going to be talking about all things nutrition. And we're two guys, two dietitians,
From
two
the other
dudes.
side of the planet.
Yeah, a rare commodity in this industry, I guess.
Absolutely.
So, how did we get started? By the way, Joe, let's give everyone a little idea of how this whole party got started.
I'll claim responsibility for it, but
Yeah.
I was just thinking back of how we connected in the first place, and I think it was really about social media. I think you
Right.
found me on Instagram and started commenting, and obviously you're a pretty quirky and funny guy, and we sort of built up this, I don't know what you'd call it, relationship, friendship,
Or-
all on social media. And then I suggested to you, hey, we're two guys, two pretty rare commodities, as you said, and we thought, with the power of the internet, let's connect. And especially with men's health, it's really interesting. I was asked recently why I chose men's health, and my answer was like, well, I don't know if I chose men's health; it kind of chose me, and I imagine it's the same for you. And maybe it works well for us because we are two blokes in a very female-dominated profession, and
Yeah.
I think we've. It just so happens to be our little niche.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I mean, I'm not truly, to be perfectly honest, I'm not truly like a men's health specialist in my practice.
No, neither
So
am
I
I.
see, yeah, okay, fair enough. But yeah, I see, and just so people know, we're both privately practicing dietitians. I'm in Toronto, Joel's in Melbourne, or some of you guys might say Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Uh,
You'll get it right sooner or later.
yeah, but yeah, so we're both privately practicing dietitians, and yeah, I mean, we definitely have an interest in men's health. I mean, I just posted a men's health article on the Facebook page, which you guys should all check out. Dudes Talk Nutrition, and
Absolutely.
yeah, so I'm in a bit of a stump here, mate.
No. Well, I mean, tell me about, obviously we're both in private practice. We both meet
Right.
with patients one-on-one, but you've obviously got a few other, strings to your bow. So why don't you tell everyone what else you're doing?
Right on. Yeah. Okay. So for those that don't know, I'm a pretty avid blogger and writer. So if you check out my website, andytherd.com/blog, or if you've checked me out on Instagram, andytherd, I'm really into writing about nutrition topics, and I really like to spice things up with humor. So if you have followed me at all, you know that I put a little bit of humor in everything, all of my food-related stuff. I crack jokes at people as well, including Joel for all of his aprons.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm a big writer. So yeah, I mean, I love writing, and that's what I actually do on the side as well as my practice. So I'm in writing for magazines, websites, all sorts of stuff like that.
Mm.
And then of course I have my private practice where I see people for anything from weight management to just general healthy eating. So that sums me up. And I love soccer and dogs too. But tell us a little about yourself there, mate.
Yeah. Well, look, similar to you, I don't work the whole time in private practice. I actually work in aged care a couple of days a week, and I actually really enjoy that work because it keeps sort of it does keep my clinical skills up.
Right.
It's not the most romantic, I guess, job, but hey, someone's got to do it, and I'm passionate about it, and I do enjoy it to some extent. And like you,
Right.
I also write, so I've got a blog too, and I'm at heartynutrition.com.au /blog. And also very active on social media. So, Andy, I mean, obviously we've connected, the power of social media, as I just mentioned. What are we trying to do? What's our agenda? I'm still a bit unsure.
That's the $1 million question, I guess. Well, I suppose we're two dudes trying to send a message about nutrition, just like the theme song suggests. And I think we're just trying to, I guess, demystify it to a certain extent, make it easier for people out there, let them know that, it doesn't have to be, rocket science, quote unquote, to eat well. It's not doesn't have to be as hard as it seems to eat well.
Yeah.
And hopefully along the way we can simplify things for people, crack a few jokes, hopefully. And really just I hope every time people come to watch us, they'll take away something new that they can apply to their their daily life, because we're in this. Of course, we're dietitians. We're in this to make people healthier, happier, right? So if we're not doing that, then what are we doing, really?
Yeah, it's so funny. I mean, you talk about demystifying and I guess debunking some of those dietary myths, and this idea that it isn't rocket science. And I love your T-shirt because it really, I like to talk to my patients about what to eat, not what they can eat rather than what they can't eat.
Yeah.
And I think let's get back to the basic principles: eating your veggies, eating your whole foods. Let's not worry too much about all the little intricacies. I think it's about getting the balance right. So
Right.
yeah, I love that concept of just eating more vegetables. I
Right.
think a lot of things will generally take care of themselves. I think if you focus on the good things, you focus on those wholesome foods, people
Right.
generally, what they will do is inherently eat less of the other things.
Right.
So I guess our agenda, I guess we're aimed at men, but obviously we'd love
Everyone's
women to get
welcome.
behind us as well, that's for sure. But our
Yeah.
message is, it's really about healthy eating. And it's not, I don't know, I don't think we sell a sexy message. I think maybe that's why dietitians, we are confused. In terms of the community is confused about what we do and how we roll and how we practice. We don't sell a sexy message. We like to talk about moderation.
Yeah. And, there are only so many, quote unquote, truly healthy whole foods that exist, and they're kind of out there already. So I suppose, that's where creativity comes in. And, in our future episodes, we're definitely going to touch on that, especially with your pension in the kitchen and your, Get Your Man in the Kitchen campaign. Why don't you go ahead and show off your.
Yeah, well,
the
I
t-shirt?
guess if you're showing off your tee, I'll show off mine. So I've got my, it's actually my favorite T-shirt. I wear it all the time.
Yeah.
Selfless promotion.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I get asked it all the time. What's the deal with Get Your Man in the Kitchen? And it's a simple message. It's about other blokes just getting in the kitchen and having a crack, making their favourite dishes. And from my end, I love talking to my patients about making pizza at home and making chicken schnitzels and making fish and chips. All these dishes that you would the common man might think they're unhealthy, but actually
Right.
if you make them healthier, and if you cook them slightly differently, they can
Right.
actually be a really healthy option.
Right.
And I think I love seeing that little penny drop. I had a patient in recently, and I was talking to him about pizza. It's his favourite dish, and he just didn't realise, he didn't even think that he could make it himself. So we talked about, really basic recipe. I didn't even tell him that he could make his own dough. I like to work by the motto, work smarter in the kitchen, not harder. And this whole
Right.
idea of using, these ingredients, be it frozen veg or packaged salad bags or ready to go sort of ingredients. At the end of the day, to make a wholesome pizza, you can just use a whole grain wrap, you can use a light cheese, and use loads of veg. And if you want a bit of protein on there, you can add some ham, you can add some other cold cuts, some chicken breast, or even some smoked salmon. It really doesn't need to be any harder than that, but it's
Right.
always going to be a healthier option than the store-bought pizza. And really, that's my message. I think there's a strong interest in food, and there's a strong interest in nutrition these days, but I think people just don't know how to do it and do it properly. I think when blokes think about cooking, they think of, they think of the meat, and they think of, this giant portion of meat, and that's about it. But like your T-shirt says, I think we've got to get back to that idea of balance and getting the veggies and including the veggies, and yes, including the meat, but maybe not in such a large portion. So really, that's the crux of the Get Your Man in the Kitchen campaign, and it's funny because it's,
Right.
I guess, the name of it is Get Your Man, so I wonder if it's aimed at women. I probably didn't think this through enough, but I'm sort of aiming.
Whether it's daughters,
Yep.
cousins,
Absolutely.
you know,
Wives, partners, girlfriends.
whatever the case
I
may be,
mean,
whatever the relationship is. You know, it doesn't have to be a lover. It can be a daughter. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So,
Because often it's the women in our life who, encourage us to eat healthier or, do certain things. So maybe I aimed it at women inadvertently because, maybe they're the drivers. Absolutely.
well, my one of my closest friends, my longest friend, the longest time, longest duration. He got together with someone. He's married now to a woman who did nutrition undergrad, and she completely changed the way he saw food and approached food. And I even did an interview of them for an undergraduate research study on how coupling affects diet, right? So yeah, that's definitely a huge part of it. And it's funny that you're talking about pizza because I just wrote an article about how pizza can be a valuable way for parents to teach their kids food skills and compromise, and how you can have a little bit of this and a little bit of that on a pizza. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. And so I just wrote an article on that for like feedingmykid.com. So yeah, it's good points, and hopefully
it's a great message, isn't it? Because it's like, I think people see nutrition and they see food and diet as like this all or nothing construct, and you can't deviate from, what is right or what's the best way. But like, I think there's got to be a marriage. I think we can, absolutely compromise. So, I think pizza works as a wonderful example because yes, you can make what's seen as something unhealthy actually healthier. And it's the same with fish and chips. I posted on my Instagram the other night of my oven baked fish and my frozen chips that I bunged in the oven as well, and dished up with some veggies that I threw in the microwave. I mean, I think, and it's funny because we have cooking shows over here like MasterChef. I'm sure you guys have that too, and they're really popular. But I think they perpetuate this idea that you need to spend hours and hours in the kitchen. And yes, I love cooking, but at the same time, I don't want to spend hours in the kitchen. I've got other things to do. So I think, it goes back to that motto that I mentioned before about working smarter in the kitchen, not harder, and having these ingredients and having these skills to actually whip something up in a short period of time. So it's funny because I thought, it's a good segue. Obviously, we're talking about food and this is our thing, but, I know you've got a love of kale. Is that your favorite food?
So I used to be a spinach guy. When I first got into healthy eating, spinach was my kind of gateway food. We'll call it my gateway green. We'll call it.
Okay. So I've got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I went from not really eating vegetables to eating a lot of spinach because it was really easy. And I know we're gonna have future episodes where we talk about the role of uncooked and raw vegetables and all that.
Absolutely.
But the long story short, I mean, I got into spinach as a way to get vegetables in because I didn't have cooking skills. I still don't have great skills, but it's just an easy way to get vegetables in. And now spinach is out and kale is in, so kale is what I'm into now. So if you'll see me on Instagram all the time with kale pictures, and I really do my kale, every day, and I love it.
Yeah. It's why you're glowing.
So, pardon me?
It's why you're glowing. Yeah, in a good way.
I don't know. I guess kale just gets me all warm and fuzzy inside. So let me just say one more point. I think we're running out of time, but let me say one point to kind of leave everyone off with.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not really a big mentor person. I don't have that many people within the profession who I look up to. But one of my only mentors who I had when I was training, she told me something that kind of sticks with me today, and I tell a lot of people, and hopefully people can appreciate this going forward. And it's that, the future of nutrition advice is like 100% personalized advice. So don't get overwhelmed with what you see out there in the media or what you see. There's no one size fits all eating plan. What works for you is what works. So again, there's no one diet that fits everyone the same way. So it's 100% personalized nutrition is like kind of the future. And that's kind of the way I see things. And hopefully we can teach everyone out there to kind of adopt that approach that they can make healthy eating work for themselves in their own unique way.
And I think that's our job, isn't it? It's to facilitate that, and it's to find that balance, and to find what works for some people, and to work with, their abilities, and their goals as well. I think that's really crucial, and I think that's pretty much sums up what we do.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
So, this is it's been a great little chat. I don't want to. I reckon we should cut it there.
Yep.
Let's leave hopefully a bit of a taste, and have people coming back. And so, I mean, you touched on it before. We can find you on Instagram, and we can find your blog. And similar to you, I've got my Instagram account, and I'm at Hearty_nut. So please feel free to follow us.
We should put that in the description as well.
We'll definitely add that. And we encourage you all to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Dudes Talk Nutrition. And we definitely want to encourage you guys to ask us different questions, and this will be a great opportunity for us to answer them and to debunk, I guess, some common myths. But I guess let's wrap it up there. Yeah, absolutely. I'll speak to you soon, dude.
Okay. See ya. See you guys.
Andy.